So marketing. This is what many of us think of when we think of where a social listening solution would actually be used. And it's important to recognize that because of the high numbers of businesses that are using social right now, it's critical for marketing's efforts to get in front of that. I mentioned earlier that 70% of sales decisions are made before a seller is contacted. That entire sales process time frame is defined by marketing. And much like many marketing questions, the number one question that comes up at most companies around the world is, what's the effectiveness of my marketing campaign? In the past, when you had a television advertisement or a newspaper advertisement or a radio advertisement, there was a significant delay between those advertising dollars being placed in the markets that they were generated in and getting feedback in the form of sales for whether that campaign was working or not. Especially if you had overlapping campaigns, it was relatively difficult to gauge the effectiveness of any single part of that campaign because there weren't any real-time ways of filtering out. Were people engaged by this particular spot? Did it make them want to purchase my product more? Did it paint my competitor's brand in a bad light, and that's what was driving the actual uptick of sales? All of those were challenging questions that were difficult to answer prior to the last couple of years. Now, with an increasing amount of social volume in response to those sorts of campaigns, whether it's a newspaper advertisement or a television spot or even the packaging of your product itself or how a survey was reported back, all of that information can feed into the social space so that you can know the day after a television spot hit what people were tweeting about or whether people were liking it on Facebook. All of those items allow you to get much more granular information about how effective your campaigns are and where you should shift your marketing dollars. That extends beyond whether a campaign is working or not to individual brands within your organization. If you've got a brand that's got a strong positive sentiment, it's easy to see when events take place in real time if they're driving the value of that brand down. It could be a product recall. It could be a news event. Of that change, you want to track to see how that brand is being perceived, not only today, not only yesterday, but 7 days, a month into the past and into the future, to see if even if you have a strong brand, if it can withstand negative publishing, negative advertisement, and the like. And that's what you can gain with social insights.